started in combat.
Welcome to Reset Therapy Relationships Sunday night at 9. I am your host, Coach Glenda, here with course manager and co-host Rufus Carpenter. As most of you know, Rufus and I have created this forum where you can discuss trials and triumphs in past and present relationships. We encourage everyone to share, speak their truth, and talk as much or as little as they would like. Just a few housekeeping rules. We ask that you mute all your devices until you're ready to speak to avoid any background noise. And let's be respectful and allow everyone to speak their truth and get their comments in. Now, before I tell you the topic for tonight, which is, matter of fact, it's a part 2. I want to allow Mr. Carpenter to tell us a little about himself as well as his background.
Good evening, everybody. Like she says, my name is Rufus Carpenter, and I come to this space a little different than most. My background started as a little boy in Virginia in a family of 14 kids. We lived in a 3-bedroom house with 1 bathroom. So if you can imagine all of us trying to share 1 bathroom, that make you think right then you have to understand the essence of human connection. But the deal is we never had enough of anything. So I remember one weekend I went out, and I was about 9, maybe 10, 11 years old, somewhere in there. I remember going out the weekend, and I went and did chores all through the neighborhood. I raked grass, I picked up leaves, I chopped wood, I made errands for people, and I did all kind of odd jobs. And around that weekend out, by going by the highway and by the street, picking up soda bottles and soda cans, and taking them and getting the refund on bringing them back. So the total money I collected that weekend was $35 and some change. I remember taking that money to my mom, and she saw it, and she said, "Rufus, you got $35 or whatever the change was." She said, "I'm so proud of you." And her eyes lit up. She kissed me on the forehead, and she gave me $1.25. She said, "Baby, spend this on yourself. I'm so proud of you." From that moment on, it changed my life. From that moment on, I said to myself, I'm always going to be a helper. I'm always going to be a part of the mission. So I became a helper, and I still today, I'm on that same helper's high. I'll give you the shirt off my back. I'm interested in people. But my background, that was a start. My background didn't stop there. I joined the United States Army, and one of the jobs I did in the United States Army was called a race and human relation leader, where I had the responsibility to go into all different Army units, and I would check any race or relationship problem, and I'd be the first person on the scene, and I'd do what's called an intake form. The intake form, I would help decide what level of responsibility or what resources we had to throw at solving that problem. So I have a diverse background. I was married 27 years. So all of this really helps tonight in this container called Sunday Night at 9. Sunday Night at 9 was designed to be a container, a place, a sacred place where you and like 25 of your sisters could be in one of each other's living room. You relax. You got maybe a couple glasses of wine, some tea. You're feeling really good. The kids are in bed, and you can relax and you can speak your truth. The good thing about this container is that we rely on the sisterhood to share. And sometimes just getting the word, getting what you have in your heart out. And it's some part of the night's topic, speak your truth. And you get it out. And you don't know the sister beside you might be going through the same stuff that you've already mastered and had a breakthrough. And for her, it may be a challenge. But for her to hear you say it and you know you overcome it, that gives her hope. Because a lot of times we, how they say we walk by faith, not by sight. So if you've done it, she can faith it out on her own until she can get there. So this is a great place to be, and we're just going to have some fun tonight. We had a great time with part 1 of this topic. We did a lot of things. I even went back on YouTube and listened to it a couple times, and that's how good last week were. So this week, we asked that everybody open up, because this is a subject and a topic that everybody knows something about. Everybody, you're a communicator, whether you're a poor communicator or whether you're an excellent communicator. We all communicate one way or another. Okay, Glenda.
All right. Let's talk about the silence that speaks volumes. So many of us have been taught that silence keeps the peace, that being the strong one means biting our tongue, hiding our hurt, and pushing through. But tonight, I want to ask, what's the cost of that silence? In our friendships, families, and partnerships, when we avoid the truth, we avoid the healing. When we don't speak up, we shrink. And too often, we carry the emotional weight of things left unsaid. But here's the truth, your voice is powerful. Your truth deserves space. Speaking your truth isn't about arguing. It's not about being right. It's about choosing authenticity over avoidance and connection over confusion. Tonight, we're creating a space for honesty with ourselves and with each other. We're clearing the air, we're stepping into clarity, and we're doing it with love. So, what truth have you been holding back? Let's talk about it. Tonight, we're doing part 2 of Speak Your Truth, Clearing the Air in Relationships, the importance of honest communications. Now, I want to just ask a quick question. You can put it in the chat. Now, since our last open discussion, part 1 of Speak Your Truth, Clearing the Air in Relationships, the importance of honest communication, did anyone practice being open and honest this past week? Yes or no in the chat? Okay. All right. Got a few. All right, we got 2 yeses and one, two, three. Oh, 3 yeses and 1 no. Okay, hey, something is better than nothing. I like that. That means that we are a work in progress. All right, got another yes. Great. Now, another question. You really don't have to respond in the chat. If you want to, that's fine. But when you were being open and honest in your communication this week, did you feel better? Because I know I did. Anytime that I speak my truth, tell somebody, in a kind way, I feel better because being open and honest is not it's not trying to be hurtful and trying to be mean. It's also about setting boundaries and being clear about how you want someone to treat you to allow them to know, the do's and don'ts when being in a relationship, a friendship, or a partnership with you. So that's good. All right. Absolutely. It does release the pressure. You're absolutely right. All right. So we are going to move right along with our part 2 of last week's topic. So we're going to kick off with Mr. Carpenter. You want to take over with the other chat storms 4 and 5?
Yeah. I think we ended last week and we never really finished it. We ended on self-awareness is the start of truth and communication. You want to conquer that? You want to conquer that, or you me jump on it?
Okay, so we just going over the points that we discussed last weekend. We talked about emotional bottling versus brave expressions, unspoken feelings fester, honesty releases pressure, prevents resentment, and opens the door to healing. We discussed fear of disruption. Many of us were taught not to rock the boat, but silence can cost more than honesty. It can cost connection. And that is absolutely true. And then we talked about last week, safe versus honest isn't always the same. Sometimes the safe thing to do to speak up, it builds intimacy and invites others to do the same. And now we're going to start off with self-awareness, where it's the start. You can speak your truth. If you haven't explored it, understanding your emotions help you communicate with clarity and kindness. And I guess when I asked you early on, did anyone practice, open and honest communication this past week? That was like the kickstart to see, how did it work out for you? And if you really took what you learned from last week and brought it in to your everyday life up until now, while we're getting ready to start part 2. So we already said that we did practice being open and honest, and And if you understand that that by speaking your truth, it builds what am I trying to say? It builds clarity, and it helps your communication in your relationships, because honestly, people are supposed to respect you more when you're being open and honest. And to be honest, if they don't respect you, that gives you an eye opener whether to continue the relationship or, set even harder boundaries, because honestly is the best policy, because no one wants to be lied to on a regular basis, or, given a whole lot of fluff just to get through the moment. So, Mr. Carpenter, I want you to elaborate a little bit more on self-awareness.
Okay, the self-awareness, to be honest with you, self-awareness can take up the whole night. If you really look at self-awareness, and as she said, you can't speak your truth if you haven't exposed it. And what that's saying is right there, a lot of us are what's called imposters in our communication with people. We're just imposters because we don't really tell people who we are. We hide behind a mask. We hide behind our position. We hide behind our thoughts. We hide behind what we tell ourselves in our mind. And some of us just don't nobody know who we are. We hide stuff. We don't even let our friends know what we do from day to day because we hide it. We don't want them in our business. We don't want to know who we are. We do those type of things, and we are never the authentic person. The people that you traverse with day in and day out don't even really know who you are. And when you bring that into a love relationship or a relationship you have on a continual basis, who you loving? Are you loving the person that this person wants you to see and not who they really are? So the night when we go into this night, and you talk about the subjects of the night, and we go through these topics and we bring up different points, I want you to be honest, be authentic. Let yourself go. Tell us who you really are. Take that mask off. That facade, you don't have to. That we want to be vulnerable. We want to touch our soul. We want to be truthful. Because if you start with a true foundation, you have something you can build on. When you start pretending or hiding behind something or trying to be a false person because you feel you have to be this in order to be with them, when you start doing that, what you really aren't communicating. You're masking, you're hiding. You're not being true to yourself, so you can't be true to them. So the first thing, self-awareness. Let's start there. Who are you? What's your values? What are you looking for from yourself in relationships? What are you looking for from the other person in relationships? What's important to you in a relationship? What are some of the things that that you know about yourself?
So you're fully aware of who you are when you know that you're good, you're bad, and you're ugly. Okay. Now that's great. And as I stated before, someone put in there, pretending is pretty much lying all the time. You're lying to yourself when you put on a front, or you portray yourself to be somebody that you really isn't. That's pretty much lying. And let's see what else we got here in the chat. All right, okay, we got someone else putting something in the chat. I am Britain. Okay, someone put, I am the person who will always speak a blessing upon you, because the more that you are, so am I. Okay, you're always thinking positive. So let me ask you this, the one that put that comment in, so even if they're lying to them, I mean, even though knowing that they are lying to you, you still speak a blessing over them? You don't never tell them or call them out in their wrong?
We'll give them a chance to speak, but that topic, that subject right there was pretty much, I went to church today and the bishop preached on that right there, because he said, as one of us is, we all are, that God see us as a group. God sees us as one person. So if one person in that section hurts, or one person in that session in our group is going to give grace, going to give mercy. Everybody gives it because God sees us as one person, even the group of us. Mm-hmm. So when I look at what he put in the chat right there, that blessed my heart. Because even if somebody does him wrong or speaks bad to him, he's giving them grace. Because it's there, it's God's. God has to be the one. God gives increase, and God is the one that gets. I think to get to vengeance is mine, said the Lord, or how that work is. All we can do, all we owe a person is love. That's all we owe anybody. So that touched me right there. So Johnny, thanks for that. I really appreciate that. Okay, and I apologize. I lost you guys a few minutes ago. I don't know what happened. I went somewhere wild blue yonder. And my point, and I was dwelling on the point, and that's probably why I got thrown off. I was dwelling on the point of self awareness, self first, because that's a great foundation. If you authentic and and when you look at Johnny's chat, he know who he is. No matter how you come at him, no matter what you do, you're not going to take his peace or rob his blessing because he knows exactly who he is. Okay. Whether you treat him good, whether you treat him bad, he knows exactly who he is. He don't give in kind. So he knows who he is. He knows what he stands for. He knows what his boundaries are. Mm-hmm. No matter what you do, he's going to bless you. You come at him wrong, he's still going to bless you. Now, he's not going to bless you like some of you going to bless you all. That's not what I'm talking about. So and that touched my heart. But what I want to say, be authentic. Be who you really are, because if it starts there, then you can understand your own emotions. You can help clarity in communication. Because when you understand your own emotions, you can have clear communication. I can't say word. You can have clear communication. And that's what this is about tonight. Clear, frank, honest communication. So if we talk from there and start the night's topic from there, we can't go wrong. All right. I think I was supposed to go into the chat, Storm. I was supposed to go into, and I think we said a little bit about this last week. What do you wish someone had been honest to you about in a relationship? And you've had a relationship with somebody, it could be a 3 week, it could be 3 years, it could be 20 years or 5 years. And I want to hope it's on the front in a relationship. What do you wish somebody had been honest with you about? What do you wish somebody would say it? Because let's say, for instance, we did a few weeks back, we did about somebody had been in a relationship 8 years, and then all of a sudden the guy found out he had an 8-year-old child. And the woman said, "What? This is a surprise." Now, if he did know and kept it to himself, his girlfriend or wife, whoever it was, wished that he was honest with them, and told them. And a lot of things, you've been in a relationship you didn't know. And a lot of times people hide money in relationship. They can have money and y'all get together, y'all get married or get together, and y'all put y'all funds together, and they put a few dollars and they got a whole bunch of dollars over here. And then when y'all get in a tight, they say, "Well, hey, don't worry about it. I got this." And you scratching your head, you said, "Hey, we've been broke all this time. What you mean you got this? Where's it coming from?" I always had a nest egg. And now I'm just bringing it out because that's one of the same places. What are some things that you wish a person was honest about in relationships? You can put it in the chat or somebody can talk about it. Anybody want to talk about it? Don't put it in the chat. Some things you wish somebody was honest to you about. And some can be some major things. Some can, like, let's say if a person been married 4 or 5 times, and you go to get engaged, and you think that maybe they haven't been married before, and you guys, this is your first wedding, and this person been married 3 or 4 times. I'm just bringing little examples here, but what in a relationship that you wish somebody had talked openly and honest to you about before the relationship, or in the early stages of the relationship, and you found out later on this is so? Anybody care to share? Okay. Okay.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead. That's you, Pierre. Go ahead, Pierre.
Hello?
Go ahead. You can speak.
Yes. I would like to say that uh, a lot of people see so much about themselves, and again, they try to represent themselves as being not as promiscuous, not as careless, not as irresponsible, um, more godly, and 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 they really believe that they're making things uh, um, preferable in the relationship, and that's the deceitful heart of man. It probably has good intentions, but but you know we are a sick group. We you know, you know and the Bible describes when a person is called good, okay, even the Son of God, when he was called good, he corrected the individual, and he said, "There's only one good, and that's the Father." You know, so uh, we are deceived. We really are. We don't see clearly. We don't understand things the way they should be, and you know, we are a sick group. Yes.
I think the key to that is the awareness that the case, because I'm aware I have faults. So when I go to a relationship, hey, I know, hey, what you see is what you get. You get me. If you get me, you get my issues, my faults, and I know that. Where a lot of people, like he said, you mask yourself and you won't let your true self come out. And he touched on that one about your experience level. And I'm gonna leave it like that. Some people are rock stars, and they portray a lamb or a babe when they're really rock stars, and I'm just saying it like that. All right. Any more comments
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah.
You must see something in the chat, Glenda. Do you want to talk about?
No, I was going to ask you, can you elaborate on that? You kind of lost me there for a second. I need some clarity right about now.
Oh, okay. Some of us are babes in the woods in terms of relationships, in terms of intimacy, in terms of experience in the relationship or dating game or whatever. Oh, I got it. I got the perfect example. You go on now today. A lot of people go on internet dating or what you call that, social dating. When you go to a dating site, when you go to a dating site and you meet a person and you talk to them and they make you believe that they just came on for the first time and they're all innocent and then you all innocent. And then when y'all finally meet and get together, this person is a pro because you wonder how they pull you in so quick and so easy. This person's a pro. You the babe in the woods, and they've done it so many times. They're a pro, and they pull you right in, and you like a big mouth bass on the bank just flapping because they got you so hooked. And they got you hooked because you didn't know, and they're so experienced. And you're saying, wow, I fell for something. And here's why I brought that scenario up. You when you go to these websites and date and you're a babe in the woods, you're tired of being alone and you just want to try. I'm gonna try a website. I can't find anybody because I'm working all the time, so I'm going to a website and I'm a babe in the woods. And this person answered and they say everything right. Man, they got this beautiful persona, everything, and they just pull you right in. Your big mouth bass on the bank just hooked to them. Oh, and you get them. And let's say you meet with them, and then they even more charming when you meet with them. And then you find yourself in a relationship with them 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12 months up the road. And then you talking about, wow, can we take this next level? And oh, by the way, you find out this person ain't who you thought they were. This person is somebody totally different. You don't even really know who you got now. In your mind, you so in love because this person
Yes.
fed you so much stuff and you just ate it up, and you find out this is a shark and you're a babe in the woods. You're blood in the water.
Can you elaborate?
I thought I was doing that then. I can't hear you, Glenda. You're on.
Okay, I'm sorry. Gigi wants you to elaborate some more.
That's what I thought I was doing then. You guys want me?
That was for me.
Y'all want me to be, y'all trying to get me to be common. That's what y'all trying to do.
No, we just need clarity. We're
Okay.
being
In clarity, what I'm saying in relationships, some of us are more skillful than others in relationship. Some of us in relationships have social skills that we've developed. And a lot of us develop our social skills by going out there dating, and we're sometimes we fail, we brush ourselves off and go out there and date some more, and then we get those relationship skills. Some of us never been out because we worked all our life. You know, when we were young with our family, we had to work, help the family. Then we went to school or went to another job. So we never got a chance to go out there and do the dating that when we were young. So now we're in our 20s, 30s, and 40s, and now we want to go dating. And we go date this guy or this girl that's been dating ever since she was 15 years old, or he was 15 years old. And they'd been up, down, through a list of people. And you only had maybe a high school boyfriend. And this person, then this person that you're meeting, whether it's a guy or girl, they're a rock star. They done dated since they were 15 years old and done everything they can do under the sun. And then they reel you in. You think, oh man, I'm gonna take you home to mom and dad because I just love you because of what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And right then, that's not equally yoked. That's not equally yoked. And then when you find out later on down the road, when you want to be just who you are, you can't compete anymore because this person is so far advanced of you in things that you don't know very little about. You remember a long time ago, because most of us are the same age. I think it was named Betty Wright or somebody had this song and made to love for the first time. And she talked about the record. And she talked about how she had this record and the producer, she had wrote in her notebook, and the producer went to her notebook and saw this song she wrote about a girl having a sexual relationship with a man for the very first time. Anybody ever heard that little record or scenario? And how the guy just turned her out, and woo, that's what it is. Did it, Gigi, did it make it any clearer, any plainer?
Yes, she got it.
Yes.
Okay, good deal. Let's move on. All right, now, you want to go a little further? You want me to go into the second one, Glenda?
Oh, no, you can keep it moving.
Okay, the second one. Okay, how do we make a safe space for others to tell the truth? And this is good. This is unique. How do we make a safe space for others to tell the truth? Then how do we set it up? How do we give a person a feeling that they can be open, honest, and truthful to us? That they don't have to worry or hide the feelings or be afraid. What can we do to make that space safe and make the person feel comfortable in a space to talk to us?
Being open and honest and communicating.
Okay, Gigi said open, honest, and communicate. Any more?
Trust.
Yeah.
Trust.
And be non-judgmental.
Absolutely.
Unjudgmental is another. Any more?
I think my two big ones. Go ahead. Peter.
And I said, and be non-judgmental.
That's a good non-judgmental.
Now that's the two big ones for me is being non-judgmental and not being over opinionated.
Okay.
Those are two, yeah.
And
what works for one person doesn't work for another person. So just because you have your opinions or you want to make your suggestions, it doesn't mean that, this is the only way. No, it's not. There are other ways because everybody is different. And what worked for you, it may not work exactly the same way for me.
What comes to my heart and mind is empathy, grace, empathy.
Yes, yes.
Those are bigs for me because think about it. And then the most important thing is you have to be the same thing. You have to speak your truth. You have to open up. You got to be vulnerable because they can only emulate what they see. If you stay closed up, then they're not going to want to talk because it's not a level playing field where everybody can speak the truth. And that's what Sunday Night at 9 is all about. Because we've been together. I think we've been together for about a year now with Sunday Night at 9. And we're doing everything we can to make you feel comfortable to speak here. And that's why Glenn and I, we tell so much about ourselves. You guys probably know everything about me. You probably know more about me than I do. Because we're letting you know, we're talking our truth so you can feel free to talk your truth. We're setting a container or a safe place where you can do that. And when somebody get on and start chewing try to tear somebody down, we cut that out. We stop it right on the spot. Because this is a place anybody can speak. Yeah, we normally have a topic every week we talk about, but the goal here, you can talk about anything relationship. You can ask any question you want to ask about. And if Glenn and I don't know it, somebody on the line gonna know the answer. And if nobody on the line know the answer, we'll table it the next week. And we'll do the research. Because this is a place that you're supposed to get your answer. You're supposed to be able to feel free to talk. You're supposed to be able to let your hair down. You're supposed to be able to say that. Now, the only thing we ask, we tell you don't call no name. Don't tell us a name. You can tell us the situation, but don't tell us a name. Because this is not an air your dirty laundry. That's not that. But this is, you can speak your problem, whatever you have that you want to talk about. And you can say, I got a friend that, however you want to do it. And let us go from that point on, okay? Now, did anybody got any more questions about that one? How do you make a safe space for others to talk? Well, I'll tell you what, in the chat, how many of us have been afraid to talk because our partner or the person we're trying to communicate made us feel so self-conscious that we were afraid to let it go? We were afraid to tell them. We healed it. We masked it. And if you were in that situation, put me. And I'm going to be the first one to put me in it. How do I get to my chat? I'm going to be the first one to put me, if I can find how to get to it. Me.
Too late. I beat you to it.
Okay. Yeah. But me, because I have known people can make you feel so small.
Mm-hmm.
Feel so unnecessary. People can make you feel ashamed of your own self. If you let them. If you let them.
Right.
If you let them. I was at a church one time, and this pastor, and I'm sorry, but a lot of my stories come from church, and I apologize. And I'm no more religious than anybody else, but this was a good story. This pastor told a story about a rose that was in the trash dump. And that first time I heard it, he said the rose in the trash dump, and it said the rose was trying to come out the trash dump and try to bloom and blossom in the trash. Oh, you trash, rose. You can't be no good. You like us. You trash. You got to be dirty. You got to be stinky. You can't be no rose. You can't smell good. You're trash now. And the rose felt bad. The rose started going down back in the dirt, and the rose just felt so bad. And the rose went back to sleep that night. That night, the rose was thinking, and the sun came up. When the sun came up, the rose shot up. The rose said, you almost had me trash. You almost had me trash. But when the sun shined on me, I knew I was a rose. And that's the way you do it, because you got to realize, you have to realize who you are. And that's, go back to that self. You got to know yourself. And once you know yourself, you know what you ain't going to take. And you know you got a mouth. You know you communicate, and you're gonna only go where you. I'm not gonna say you're not gonna only go where you're welcome, but wherever you go, you're gonna be seen, you're gonna be heard, and you're gonna make your presence known. Right. Whether that's home in your own house, or whether in the street, or wherever it is, you're going to be yourself, authentic self. Okay, any more parts about that before we move on? Because that part, that's being the self, and then giving your partner or your someone a chance to speak. And sometimes even when you're in groups, let's say you're in an office, or you go to club with your friends, and you got one person in the group that want to speak, but they shut them down, and that person can't speak because they always get shut down. Sometimes you might want to speak up for that person and give them grace. Anybody ever seen that happen before?
Yes, and I speak up for them and allow them to have the floor to speak whatever they have on their mind.
So you create a safe space for them. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What a blessing. What a blessing. What a blessing. What a blessing. Yeah, because and I'm guilty. Sometimes I'm a forceful kind of guy because I took karate for so many years, so it taught me to be forceful. And a lot of times I'll cut you off in a conversation. And then Stephen Covey taught me that I should listen to understand before I speak. And that helped me out a lot. And just listening first and give the person another chance to speak, I start realizing a lot of people have a lot of good stuff to say. And I learned more that way. I think Glenda said last week she wanted somebody to listen. She needed our relationship. She wanted somebody to listen. And that's being an active listener. And when you active listen, sometimes you want to shake your head, and sometimes you want to quote back what the person said. Hey, Glenda, I think I heard you say last week that listening was a big need in your relationships. And then she'll say yes. And then she feel, wow, he heard me. He understood. That was last week, and he still remembered from this week. That's how you give a person confidence. That's how you let a person know their voice is heard, they're being seen, and they're being appreciated. And that's what this is all about. All right, Glenn, I'm talking too much. Take me on to the next one. Ask me some questions.
All right, sir. Okay, not a problem.
Well,
all right.
Go ahead, Pierre want to say something first. Go ahead, Pierre.
Go ahead.
Yes, I have a friend, a dear friend, who doesn't let me speak at all. She claims she knows what I'm going to say because she knows me every time.
Is she right?
Okay, no, stop. No, he gotta give us the backstory because he only told us a symptom. He didn't tell us the root. How do you feel when that happened, Pierre?
Oh, I feel I feel as if I'm not even there, and that I have no value whatsoever.
That's it.
Is she wrong though?
Yeah.
Is she wrong? With knowing what maybe what your next comment would be, or what your reaction would be.
Requires more than one person. And conversations are like this. You let one person speak, you don't speak when they're speaking, and then you respond, but you have to let them speak.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And that was, and this is another thing. I heard a story about this little 12-year-old boy, and he was a janitor's son. And I think it was one of the major colleges, Yale. I think it was not Yale. What's that biggest white college that everybody go to is supposed to be so prestigious? I think it's in New Jersey somewhere.
Harvard.
Yeah, Harvard. That's it. His father was a janitor in that, and they do this speaking hall. They clean it every night. This little boy, 12-year-old boy, when he go with his father, he started when he was like 10, going with his father to there, and he would go to the library while his father would clean the conference hall. And the boy got so fascinated with books, he started reading the books in their library. And the people saw him, thought he was doing his school homework, but he was actually taking books off the library shelf and reading them. And he got so good with those books that it was amazing. And then the guy, so that he got hooked on speaking and how you develop an argument and speaking and all that. He got so hooked in that that he just started studying, and he started after 10 years old. And then one day his father, and every evening his father cleaned, his father say, son, give his son 5 to 10 minutes on that Harvard podium where the guy would practice like he giving a speech. And there wouldn't nobody be in there. And the father thought it was innocent. So the little boy would do it every night. They clean. So this one particular night, they had a late meeting in Harvard. And the lady that's in charge of the debate team, she left something in the conference hall. So she went in there, and the little boy and she saw this little black boy on the thing. She said, oh, what are you doing? You're disgracing the podium. Get down. And she wore that little boy out. You're a janitor, son. You don't have no reason for being here. You disgraced it. And the little boy felt bad. And the father stepped up, ma'am, I'm sorry. He didn't mean no disrespect or no harm. All he was doing was just trying to see how it felt. And she said, nope, you don't do that here. So they heard him clean and got out the way. And then a week later, they were cleaning up again, and they were getting ready for a debate against Princeton. And the little boy heard him. The little boy heard one of the people in the debate speak, and the little boy said, Dad, he's telling a lie. He don't know what he's talking about. And Dad said, son, come on, so let's do what we're supposed to do. And then he said it, and the lady that scolded him for standing behind the podium, she saw him. She said, you got a problem? And the little boy said, he don't know his facts. And the lady said, what are you saying? He don't know his facts. So the guy that was speaking said, what are you talking about? And the little boy said, yeah, that survey was wrong because they only sampled 200 people. And 200 people will not give you a good answer. And then the lady said, you don't know what you're talking about. You're a janitor, son. What you supposed to know? And then the little boy said, but I know. And then the girl said, what? Tell me what major college your dad went to. And her dad had been in prison. His dad had been in prison. So the little boy shut up. And then the lady said, what college your mama went to? And then the father grabbed the boy and took the boy out because he didn't want to get fired. So the next time they cleared, the lady says, you little boy, you think you know how to be, you want to be here. And the little boy said, if you give me a chance to talk, I'll prove it. So she's okay. She's no problem. So we having a debate, getting ready for a final for our debate. She said, you can come. She said, we're going to have a appreciation for the faculty, and this is a dry run before we go to Princeton. So he said, okay. So the little boy said, I'll do it. And the dad said, no, you don't, son, don't do it. Don't do it. And the boy said, no. And the lady said, if he wants to do it, the lady says, as a matter of fact, if he don't show up, you getting fired. So if you don't he show up or back out, you're getting fired. You're not going to work here anymore. So the man said, Jesus, boy. And the father took him home, and the little boy start practicing every night. And the father said, son, you don't have to do this. I don't worry about it. I can get another job. So I said, no, Papa, I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. So the little boy started working. The little boy had some old books. He pulled out and started studying his old books. So then when the time came, the father was a tailor. The father could sew because mom taught him, so his mom was there. So the father used the mom's suit. Mom had a green suit that was so great. And the father took the suit coat up and made it a man's coat, and it fit the little 12-year-old boy. And it was a pristine, it was a major brand suit. So the boy looked really good. So then when I went there to do it, the lady was gonna say, we'll let the boy go last. And that way the other people would be so good when they heard the boy, they're just gonna laugh him out. Mm-hmm. So when the other people spoke and the audience was, the place was full, the other people spoke, they spoke so brilliantly and so well, and everybody clapped their hands and everybody said, oh, great. So when the little boy got up there, the people said, this is a joke. What are you doing? The people in the audience started laughing and started chuckling and said, oh, this is a shame. What are you doing? They thought, because everybody was white, they thought this little boy was going to be so embarrassed and that he was going to cry and walk off the stage. The little boy got up there, and the little boy kind of froze a little bit looking around because so many people. Then the little boy started talking nervously. Then the boy started talking genuinely. The boy started talking good. Then the boy started talking really good. And then the boy started talking about the other people's speeches and say, the people in front of me spoke well. They spoke well because they were trained by Harvard professors. Their mother and father names are in the building here, and they're taught. They talk well, but he said they don't research. They just talk, they just parrot what they were told. So he just knocked them all down. Boom, 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 boom. And then he said, but let me tell you how this thing works. And he talked so well. And then when he got almost towards the end of his finish, he pulled his raggedy piece of paper out of his coat pocket. And he said, ma'am, the lady that scolded him, he said, ma'am, her name was Elizabeth. Ma'am, Elizabeth so-and-so, you wrote a book. And in your book, 20 years ago, you said that you wish that you could be in the States because you came from a rural place. You have how you had to change your language. You had to change your clothes. You had to change your hair just to fit in. And he said, but you wrote another book. And this book you wrote, now that you wrote this book recent, that now you've met the status who you are now. He did so well that after it was over with, the dean, the president of the college took him to the room and said, hey, let's talk, son. How did this come about? The kid's mother had been a lawyer who had been a great lawyer who met his father as when she represented him while he was in prison. She got him out of prison and she fell in love with him. And that's how they got together. The little boy was so good that they made the little boy, the 13-year-old boy, they put him in college, in their college right there, and they made him captain of the debate team. And then they decided to let the other kids from out of Boston, let them come and let them speak too. And they did an outreach program. And it was so good right there because the person was given a chance to speak. The person was given a chance to speak. And that's why when you ask Pierre, was she right? You don't know what a person have to give until you listen to them.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Until you give them a chance. Especially in a relationship, if they're speaking their honest truth, you have so much to gain. All right, and I once again, I went on down that rabbit hole, and I apologize. But tonight is that speaking that thing. Now, what have you, sisters and brothers, what are some of the things you've been holding back in your communication? What are some things you can say right now in your heart you've been holding back in your relationships? Whether it's relationships with a family, a loved one, what is something that you held back? I'll start. A few days ago, I heard someone say something in front of my grandkids, and I wanted to say something, but I knew if I'd have said something then, it would have created a real issue. And then my grandchildren would have saw me talking to this person about the issue that involved them. So I let it go. And I'm still holding it. And now I wish I had have spoke. But it's hindsight. Because now I gotta circle back and have that conversation. And that person will say, why you didn't say something then? And then now we're gonna have an argument. So this is why, what is something you've been holding that you wish that you could get off your chest tonight? In any relationship you have, whether it's a relationship from your childhood, a recent relationship. Anybody got anything they want to share to get off their chest, to clear the air? Going once. Going twice. Okay. All right. Then, okay, I'll tell you what. Then, did anybody on this line have any regrets of not speaking up more regarding something that
I do.
Go ahead. You say something, Pierre?
Yes. I should have told this person years ago that conversations with her uninteresting. They are dark. They are they're so limited. Ooh, that's it's it's hard to enjoy their company.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Gigi last week said something. We were talking about bottling your feelings and brave expression. And Gigi said something last week that the guy was a certain way, so she cut it off. She got out of that relationship. She got out of it. And see, you're the prime example. You stayed in it. See, so now you've been bottling it up like a Pepsi. You've been bottling it up. You ever shook up a soda bottle, and once you took the cap off,
yes,
all the fizz. See, now you've been shook up here. Now you're letting the fizz come out.
Yeah.
But
It's
that's how
sprayed
that
all
works.
over. Yes.
Yeah. So that's a great example because Gigi said that last week. She and I asked her if she'll circle back. She said, no, she's circling back. That's and see, that's why Sunday Night at 9 is so powerful because this is real. This ain't no made up stuff. We're not making up stuff to talk about. This is real. These are real stories. We got real background. They're real people. This is real talk. And that's what the night is about. The night is real talk.
Rufus, can I say something?
Yes, please.
I was reminded of this while Mr. Pierre was talking. A friend of mine came by today because of a meeting yesterday, and I, was in the meeting, and she was talking all negative and everything today, and I'm listening, and I'm like, I'm to myself, I can't keep this going on. She could not be around me steady talking negative like this. So I told her, I said, you really need to change your perspective on this. I said, just like everybody gave you a chance, you need to give her a chance too. And I don't let nobody leave a negative condemnation on me. And I'm not going to be around somebody that's going to leave it on somebody else, because we all in the same boat. Don't nobody know no more than nobody else. We're in a learning process. She just got in this position, so you got to give her a chance to grow, just like people gave you a chance to grow.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, you guys are so rich in what y'all talk about. You will say something, Pierre?
No, I agree.
Okay.
I agree with her. Because and my what angers me is that I know that we all can learn from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that I know that with my life experience, all my travels, that I'm sure I'm sure I can excite her with some story, some experience.
Mm-hmm.
But she'll even say at times, well, I'm not interested in that, and what can I do?
I understand. And since you mentioned that, what relationship in your life did you think you need a truth telling moment right now? Are there relationships in your life right now you think you need a truth telling moment right now? Is there any relationship in your life right now you think you need a truth telling right now? And this go ahead. You want to say something, Pierre?
We're not in a relationship now. We are just friends, but it's still the same thing, where I can't express myself, and I was in a relationship where we were able to speak about everything and anything, and it's wonderful, and I feel bad that this present individual does not appreciate uh, and I does not appreciate the other individual as much as she should, and I say good.
Awesome, awesome. Now you just said what the negative respect of a good conversation. So to everybody, what does a safe conversation look like to you? What it look like? Pierre just told us about the negative side, how he felt. Now, what does a safe conversation look and feel like for you today? But anybody can answer that.
Well, um, usually I say I've got something to say, and that's my thing to let everybody know that I have an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But when a person doesn't respect your opinion, then the communication is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody have an opinion.
Yep, you're right. Anybody else want to take a stab at that? What does safe communication look like to you, or a safe conversation look like to you and feel like?
Yeah, I got something to say about that.
Okay, please do.
Okay, yes. I feel like honesty is the best policy. It's the way to say honesty stuff, but on the same token, if the other person doesn't see their wrongdoing or always feel like the victim or never seem to think that they're wrong about something, then what can you do?
Okay, that's a good one. Honesty is anybody else want to say anything? Any more comments about that one?
Yeah, I think for me, the relationship should be that we can say anything, whatever we want to say, and we can talk about it, no matter what it is, because whatever it is you say, if it's something that you think could hurt me or not hurt me or whatever, I just think as in a relationship, we should be able to voice our verbally be heard to say anything that we want to say, and our partner or whomever can talk about it.
Ooh,
I just believe that.
that is awesome, man. Any more comments? Because Anna just made me think about some affirmations. When she said that, as a matter of fact, she said a mouthful of affirmations to me. So I'm gonna give you don't mind, Glenda, can I give a few affirmations? Because we're about ready to end this. But just like last week, man, time fly on this one. You guys are really active on this one. Okay, for the first one, here's some affirmation. You can write them down. I'll write them slow, or Glenda can type them in the chat, and I'll talk them slow. All right. My truth is valid, and my voice matters. That's the first one. My truth is valid, and my voice matters. That's the very first one. My truth is valid, and my voice matters. Let me know when you want the second one.
Go ahead.
Okay, the second one. I speak with clarity, compassion, and courage. I speak with clarity, compassion, and courage. Ain't no punk. That's what it's saying. But I speak with clarity, compassion, and courage. Let me know when I go to the third one. I got two more. You're almost there. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Silence doesn't protect me. Truth sets me free. Silence does not protect me. Truth sets me free. We're almost there. Got one more and we'll be finished with this. But silence doesn't protect me. Truth sets me free. And I like the last one. Matter of fact, that's going to be my mantra. Ready for the last one?
Yep.
I am worthy of being heard and understood. I am worthy of being heard and understood. My voice matters. I feel, and this is the short. I am worthy of being heard and understood. If you put those on your refrigerator or put them in your heart or say them, you'll never be silenced again. You'll never be silenced again. All right, Glenda, it's time to take us home. Wait, let's say anybody got anything they want to say or want to get off the heart want to get in before we close out tonight? Because this was a lot of
before we speak up, Pierre, if you're still on the
Yes,
line, if you don't mind, if we could get you. Thank you. If you don't mind putting your email in the chat, we would really appreciate that.
Oh, okay, I could do that.
All right, thank you.
It's my name, Pierre Lescouffler at 20@gmail.com.
All right, give me 1 second. What was your question, Mr. Carpenter, before we wrap up?
Oh, did anyone have anything they want to say tonight that didn't get a chance to talk, or did talk and still want to say something they want to get it clear? Because we're going to close this thing out tonight, because this thing could go another week and we're not. But anybody want to say something about tonight's topic, or that they feel that need to have come out that they want to say or didn't get a chance to say?
Yeah, I think another week would be good of this.
Well,
well, that's a Glenda. It's up to Glenda. I mean, it's her show. I'm just a co-pilot. So Glenda got to make that decision.
anybody else think the same thing?
Yes.
Oh, I got another yes. How about anybody else? Give me 3 yeses and we'll go for round 3.
Yeah, Gigi gave you a yes already.
I got it. All right.
Now next week you guys got to do talking. Next week I'm gonna be kind of semi-silent. Let you guys talk. All right, Glenda, you want to give us a closing so we go home?
All right, just a second. I want to make sure I get this email address.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
And we want to thank Sharon. I think Sharon invited somebody to come be a part of this. So this is a place. This is a public forum. It's free. So feel free to share this. So thanks, Sharon, for sharing. We appreciate you for that.
All right.
No problem.
Sure. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight. Speaking your truth won't always be easy, but it will always be worth it. What we discovered tonight is that real peace doesn't come from pretending. It comes from being present. It comes from letting the people in our lives see us, really see us, and allowing ourselves to be honest without shame. So this week, let's challenge the myth that love means silence. Instead, let's believe that love is strengthened by truth. Let's start those hard, healing conversations. Let's make room for honesty. Remember this. Your truth is your power. Your voice is your freedom. And when you speak from a place of clarity and compassion, you don't just clear the air, you change the atmosphere. Keep growing, keep glowing, keep speaking your truth. Good night, everyone.
Good night. You guys were wonderful. Night, y'all blessed my heart tonight. So I appreciate you very, very much.